What's up?
What's up guys, welcome to another video. So in this video I'm going to be doing my 1 year tier list for MK11. So I have all the characters here, so I already have I made it my own little list to have on my left side that I just kind of ordered everything around. So I'm just going to be going through putting each character one by one where I think they should be, and then I'm going to go over why I think they're where they're at. And just a disclaimer, obviously in fighting games there's some characters better than others, but I think everyone is viable except the people in the complete trash tier, which I put, those are not viable. But like everyone else, I think you can win a match. You can win a tournament with. It just maybe be more difficult if you're like in the A- or B tier or whatnot. Alright, let me scroll on down. Let me pick my friend over here, Miss Cetrion. Let's put her up here. Okay, so Cetrion, I think she is currently the best character in this game. Her zoning is ridiculous, but that's not why she's the best. Yeah, her zoning's good. Her buttons are so good. She has amazing Abara situations. Her stand 1 is +3 for no reason. Her buttons just have so much space to them. They have so much pushback. It's too much. She has too much crap. The only thing they nerfed was her teleport slightly. She shouldn't even have a teleport, being a zoner in the first place. But she does for some reason, but she's the undisputed best character right now, at least in my opinion. Even though I say undisputed, there's two characters that are really close. I'm just gonna bring this one up here, Miss Jackie Briggs. Now the only reason why I don't think Jackie's the best character is because I think Cetrion beats her, and Cetrion, just like Jackie, they have a lot of good matchups, and they did nerf Jackie a little bit, so it does hurt her a little bit, because Jackie, in her upgraded variation, when she does the close air jump thing and the far one, it costs her a defensive bar. So she loses a little bit off that, and if she gets anti-aired and whatnot, then she doesn't have breaker. So she loses a little bit in that regard, but she can still do all her unbreakable damage without spending bar, because she can just do the regular jump. Still has mixes with the regular jump, still has ridiculous pressure, so she's definitely really good, but I don't think she's anymore the best character. I think she's I have her at number 3 because I have this next guy, Johnny Cage. So Johnny Cage, I have him as the second best character because they didn't nerf him all that much. They just made his Rising Star cost defensive meter if it's blocked, but that's really the only nerf, because the Rising Star was a thing where he can do poke, poke, poke. You're scared of that safe move because it's only -5. But now they made it so it costs defensive bar, but Johnny still has his great zoning and outtake, the great pressure against male characters in his showstopper variation. So he's a really strong character. Doesn't really, he has all the good stuff he already had. So he's definitely up here. I think he's the second best, and these are the top 3 in my opinion. Alright, let me go to the next character. So as you guys figured, I'm just going from best to worst, just going by the list I have here. So anyway, the next character I have is Liu freaking Kang. Liu Kang really is almost the perfect character. He has everything you need. He has amazing pressure, good zoning, frame traps, damage, crushing blows. He does well in so many matchups. The only matchup I've seen he lose is Johnny Cage. It's the only one that really beats him. But everyone else, he's either even or he just outright destroys. Liu Kang is so freaking good. Honestly, with Liu Kang, he should have all the great pressure tools he has, but him being a zoner on top of that, or he's not really a zoner per se, but he can keep up with every single zoner in the game. He can keep up with Cetrion pretty well, which is pretty ridiculous. So he has way too much. So yeah, he's definitely top 5. Alright, this next pick, I don't know if y'all would agree, but most people don't. But I think Sindel is up here. Now I personally main Sindel, so coming from that perspective, I notice most people that main a character, they always downplay their character. I want to try not to do that, but I'm just being totally honest. I think Sindel beats the majority of the cast. Now when I talk about Sindel, I'm specifying her 3rd variation and then maybe her 2nd variation as well. Her 3rd variation is able to, her counter zoning it has, is able to take care of most of the cast. The only one that can really out-zone her is Cetrion. Liu Kang fights her really well because he's able to get around her low shot with his fly kick. And then also Shang Tsung can outzone her pretty good. But those are the only matchups that are a little bit difficult for Sindel. I think Liu Kang is her worst matchup because, like, okay, Sindel has a lot of things that seem punishable. Her back 2 is like minus 17. In her third variation, she has the aerial projectiles and whatnot. Like those two things against most of the cast, she can just get away with it, and if she hits it, it leads to a full combo. Only very few characters can punish that, and most characters can't do anything about her forward 4 up 3. Her forward 4 up 3 is without a doubt the best button in the game. Easy, goes almost full screen, completely safe. You can stagger it at minus 7, you have staggers, you have cancel pressure, and if you just let the whole string rip, you go so far back. You're minus 13, but the only character that can punish you is Jade in her Jaded variation if she spends the EX, the running nitro kick. But that's the only little punish you can get. Most cases, characters can't do anything about it. You do the forward 4, they have no way to check you. Now some characters do, like Liu Kang and whatnot, but most characters, they can't do anything about it. So she can bully most of the cast, to be honest. She has a couple bad matchups, but for the most part, she goes even or beats everybody. At least that's how I see it as, you know, playing her since she came out. Okay, the next character, I'm surprised I was putting him up here. Like when he first, you know, was released, and my friends, playing with my friends with him, I didn't think he was all that much. I'm like, the Joker is no big deal. Well, Sonic Fox, he proved me the hell wrong. This character is freaking really good. His buttons, his buttons were amazing and everything, and I'm like, well, he gets zoned out. That's his weakness. That's why I don't think he's particularly top 5, but I still put him in S tier. He gets zoned out pretty hard, so like characters like Cetrion and Liu Kang should do pretty good against him. And Sindel. But in the right hands, he has really good whiff punishing tools. His forward 2 string that's like a high overhead, that thing's annoying to deal with. The only one I seen deal with it right was Ninja Killer, and he had the flawless block the last hit because that thing is so hard to whiff punish. But the thing that really puts Joker up here is his fatal blow cancels, because his fatal blow cancels is kind of stupid. So he does the cancel in your face. He's plus 1 billion. If he grabs you when his fatal blow is on cooldown, he gets a crushing blow. Or he can do a mid instead and you get hit, and then if he has this crushing blow set up for the cane, that's a more big damage. So basically he can just force you to guess into losing 30-40% of your life. And I think that's kind of unfair, to be honest with you. I don't like stuff like that where you're forced to guess and you have to lose that much health. But anyway, he's able to do that. It's ridiculous. And he can do that pressure. Let's say even if you guess right, all he has to do is just land a forward 1 mid or any of his strings in like 10 seconds when his fatal blow comes back. Do the fatal blow cancel and you're back in the guessing game again. So he has an amazing comeback factor. So he's definitely up here in S tier. He's really freaking good. Alright, and the last character for A tier, that's going to have to be Miss Sonya Blade herself. Now I did a video on her about saying, she's not S tier, because I did find some weaknesses for her. You can check out that video. I'm going to post a link on the top right. But she's still really freaking good. Her 50-50s are pretty broken. In the corner, the lower overhead, they both lead to like 40% or more damage easy if you utilize the cancels. The mix-ups are unfuzzyable. Yeah, like if there's a couple option selects you can do, with her pressure and whatnot, but it doesn't stop the fact that you have to guess what she's gonna do. Her zoning is ridiculous. She outzones most of the cast as well. I don't know why she has all that great zoning. Like, okay, I don't understand why, like NRS, they put characters like Liu Kang and Sonya with amazing zoning when they're amazing up close at the same time. The only thing holding Sonya back from being higher is some of the exploits I found you can do with her enhanced projectiles. Actually not safe, and you can pretty much always get a punish on it if you do a certain option select. And the fact that she doesn't have any real good mids. All her mids are pretty bad. I mean, she has forward 4 and forward 3. They're good mids to check you, and her forward 3 is actually plus. And really, she just jails you with her down 3 anyway. That's like 7 frames, so she doesn't really need good mids. That's the only thing that's slightly holding her back, but she's still S tier. I mean, you can argue she's the top of A tier if you want, but she's really, really up there. And people got off this character because they did a little baby nerf on her. But I mean, she can still do 37% damage with 1 bar, 35% meterless, mid-screen. So she's fine. She's definitely tournament viable. I don't know why more people don't use her. Only when I see using her is Doom. But anyway, she's definitely S tier. Alright, moving on to the A tier. Our good old friend Geras. Now Geras used to be easy, clear, without a doubt, top 5, but they just been nerfing the crap out of this guy. They nerfed him a lot. They ruined his forward 2-1-2 string. They made his Sandstrap more minus on flawless block, which is, that's good at least. They messed up his dashing. They really hurt this character a lot, but I still think he's very much viable. All his variations are still really good. He still gets good damage. So I still think he's in the A tier. He's still very viable to win tournaments, but he's just not crazy overpowered, like he used to be. Alright, so my next character, my good old friend, my OG main, Cassie Cage. Cassie Cage, really freaking good character. She was definitely S tier when the game first came out. The only thing they nerfed for her was her up glow kick. They just made it so it has a flawless block gap in it, so it's not stupid and a get out of corner free thing. And aside from that, she's still really good. She's a 9-frame mid, which leads to great Abaro situations. Her back 2 is great for whip punishing. I think honestly the only thing that's holding her back, a bad poke, but it's not a big deal. Only 8-frame poke. And the fact that her flawless blocks are really bad. Her up 3 is really bad, and her up 2 is really bad. So, she has good anti-airs and stuff, but, in some situations, against some characters, they have flawless block gaps that you want to utilize and use against them. She's not able to do that. Her flawless block up 2, which for most characters is, a punish, she flips backwards for some reason. So most of the time, she won't even hit her opponent. It's only usable in very specific situations, so I think that's what holds her back a little bit. But doesn't mean she's not viable. You see Samid doing work out there, so this character's still freaking good. Personally, I've played Yas Queen, but Yas Queen, Digital Soldier, both really good variations. Let's not talk about Sub-So D, let's pretend it doesn't exist, but she's still a great character. Alright, so the next character I have is Mr. Shang Tsung himself. Now, I know some people don't think he's all that great, but this character, his zoning is ridiculous. His low, I'm talking about his first variation, or whatever the Warlock variation is. The upward, ground eruption. That crap is so good. It is so difficult to punish. Even if he does a string into it, you have to flawless block the second part of it. Some characters can dash forward. Some characters may be able to get a little punish. But this character has a launcher that he can zone you with like crazy. You try to jump in, gets a full combo. He can just throw it out in strings. Very difficult to punish. Even if you can punish it, it's a very minor punish. So that's annoying. He has his corpse drop zoning. Beats out most characters. He's one of the few that could actually beat Sindel in zoning. Granted, they nerfed his damage when he was first released, but he's still really good. Decent frame data, has his plus frames. Yeah, they have a flawless block gap, but he has ways to fight against that. And his third variation is actually pretty good too. We've seen Arm Kratos with that pick in, I forgot what tournament, I think it was NEC, something like that. Whatever tournaments Sonic Fox used Collector in. So he was doing work with that, so he showed how good this character actually is. So he's not S tier or anything like that, but he's definitely very viable, very strong, very good character. Alright, the next character we have is Mr. Collector. This man, such a good character. I'm talking about his command grab variation specifically. Spare chains, I'm sure, is better in some matchups, but his command grab variation is so good. You literally have to guess, from his forward 1 stagger, he can do command grab, continue the string, get you in a big combo. He's really strong, and his stand 4 is amazing. It's a high, yeah, but it covers so much space. It's so easy to hit confirm. And even though his stand 4-4 has a flawless block gap, most characters, unless he's right in your face, you're not going to be able to punish him because he can do it from so far away. You can do your up 2, but unless you're Geras or Johnny Cage, it's not going to hit him. So he's very strong, really good damage, good resets. Just an overall solid character. Alright, so the next individual I have, where is he? Baraka. Now Baraka, this man, his damage is retarded. He does way too much freaking damage. He gets you in a 1-1-2 in the gutted, you die. You lose half your life. He hits you in one more combo, you're dead. It's ridiculous. He gets his crushing blow combo, does 400 something, and then it has 100 damage of bleed damage on top of that. He has plus frames. Yes, he's stubby, but his forward 4 is still pretty good. Yeah, he has to work his way in, but he still has pretty decent zoning. He can compete with most of the characters. He's just a really strong character. I think he's really downplayed and not used to his full potential. This character is very freaking strong. Alright, my next character here. A lot of people be downplaying this man, But look, Mr. Cabal, this guy, very strong character. He's not S tier, but this guy has everything. None of his strings has flaw spot gaps. He has great range. He has a 9-frame mid. Yeah, he can't really combo off a 9-frame mid, but he still has a 9-frame mid. There's a bunch of mids in general. In some of his variations, he has 50-50s. I believe in Mean Streak, the one with the cancels, he has full screen zoning, which if he gets you with one of his air projectiles, he can just nomad dash, get you in a full combo. In the spins, he has ridiculous damage. He has the restand gas. He has the health regen, also does health regeneration. He just has so much crap. I mean, granted, some people say he's slow. I mean, yeah, he's a little bit slow, but I mean, he just has so much stuff going for him. Like, he's definitely really strong. Very solid A tier. Not sure why he's not used more. I mean, granted, his cancel variation is not that good because, you know, being +1, +2 is no big deal. But I think this clean cut, or the spins, or that's where he's at. That's his best variation. He can do a lot of work with that, so he's definitely A tier. Alright, next one for the A tier. Who would have seen this when the game came out, right? Kotal Khan. So this man went from complete trash to an actual good character. So he's very strong. He has two good variations, his command grab variation and Bullock. Bullock, if he gets those 3 totems up, good freaking luck. He hits you with like 2 hits, you lose like half your life. He does so much freaking damage. And he takes no damage either. He gets like, I forgot the percentage, but he barely takes any damage and he does so much damage. Very strong. He can just lame you out, heal himself in the sun, throw projectiles. His forward 2 is so good now. They made it a little bit faster. Whiff punishes you, check so many things. His other variation, the one with the command grab, you know, that one's still so freaking good. He has his tick throws, he has +3 mix-ups. Yeah, he still has his weaknesses and whatnot, but I think he's still very good. I mean, you could argue he's A-, because I'm not 100% sure on Kotal, to be honest. But I think he's A tier. He's very strong. He's very freaking strong. Alright, the last character for A tier, I have Jax. I'm not sure if I should put like Jax above Kotal or not. I'm kind of like, you know, going back and forth between those two. But Jax has been the same. You know, I think his best variation is his hunker down. He has his great crushing blows, great staggers, you know, overhead low, regular overhead. Just great 9-frame mids, great pressure. He's just a solid, good character, you know what I mean? Just very basic MK11, how MK11 is like meant to be played. Just mids, grab, strike, throw, strike, throw. Very basic character. He's pretty much a potato. I really don't like playing him because people play him, you know, like a potato. But he's a very strong character. I think A tier. And his zoning's actually not that bad. It's not that good, but if he has a life lead, he can just chunk his grenades, do his ground pounds or whatever, so he's pretty good. Alright, so now we're just going to go to the A- tier. So the first one here, I'm going to have to give it to my old pal Nightwolf here. Now Nightwolf, like I used to think he was a really good character, but I don't know, maybe he is in the A tier, but he's just not too impressive to me anymore. I mean, he has good damage, yeah, he has the overhead, you know, he has the, you know, the mid-low thing, but I don't see him that strong of a character, you know what I mean? He just seems kind of basic, you know, and if you're able to, you know, react to the overhead and not get mixed up by it, I don't see him really opening you up all that much. Now, he's still a very strong character, don't get me wrong. I have him on the top of A- tier for a reason. He's still A tier. He can still beat any of these characters. It's just, my opinion, he's not that good, but you can definitely argue, you know, he's in the A tier. He's a strong character, but he's not in these characters' caliber, at least in my opinion. Alright, next character is Terminator. Now, Terminator, I thought about putting him higher. The only reason I didn't put him higher is because he has terrible matchups, particularly against zoners like her, him, and her, and well, kind of Liu Kang. Because Terminator, he has to work to get his way in, but once he gets in, you're gonna be in Mix City. Like my friend Wise Gemini, he makes his account called Mechanical Mix. He's gonna mix you up with this Terminator. If he gets in, you're gonna die. Terminator is like, it's like a traditional grappler. He's like the Zangief from this game, basically. He gets in, he has command grab, low, overhead. He has to run into strike, run into command grab. It's way too much nonsense to deal with. So I would put him higher if he didn't have his really bad matchup. Very strong character. Alright, next character, Noob Saibot. Now this character, and again, he would be great, especially seeing double variation, if he didn't have certain bad matchups. The thing is with Noob Saibot, he loses to every character he cannot outzone. Reason I say that because his slide does not go full screen and his regular shadow is pretty useless. So if he fights a character, anyone that has a good full screen projectile that can really zone him more, like Sindel, Cetrion, Liu Kang, Shang Tsung, characters like that, he really struggles because he has to go in, and he's not that good up close because he has mostly highs. I mean, yeah, he has a 9-frame mid, but if he completes that string, most characters can punish him. He's like minus 20 or something. So he's not that strong. He's more meant to bait you to pressing buttons with punishing you with big damage, and like just kind of chipping you out with his low saddle slide and you trying to get in and him just keeping you out, spacing you. That's how he wants to play. But he just has his bad matchups, which he just can't play his game. And if he can't play his game, Noob really struggles. So that's why he's an A- and not A tier, even though he has some really favorable matchups and he does play really well. Alright, next character, I just put Frost in here. You know, for A-, I put him in an order which I think is better or worse, but really they're all pretty much interchangeable. They're around the same area. Like Frost, she was pretty bad before, but I'm talking about her third variation. They really buffed it nice. It's really strong with the combo potential, the safety of it, and the die kick's really strong. She can go under projectiles, everything. So she's just a basic, you know, good solid character. Now this next one, Kitana, they buffed the hell out of this girl. They've been keep buffing her. Her highborn still always very strong, very good character, but they actually made her fanfare like up to par now. So now her fanfare is viable. Her, of course, her highborn is always viable. I think Fearless is good in some matchups as well. So she's a very strong character, you know, not as strong as some of the other ones, but definitely A-. Alright, the next character I have is my boy Spawn. I tried to make Spawn work. I tried to use him a lot, but he has a lot of issues. Kind of like Noob Cybot, he gets outzoned easy. If he has to chase the opponent, he just straight up loses. His up close game is not that good. His fastest, if it's not a mid, it's a low, is 12 frames. Even though his 1-1 is +2, if he tries to go into his fastest, you know, non-high attack, he can get beat out by pokes. He has to rely on a barrage situation, trying to bait out pokes, predict the opponent backdashing. He has to be reading the opponent. He doesn't have the basic strike throw mix-up. And he just can't zone the opponent either. Now he can outspace them, but the thing is, if you have to chase with Spawn, you can't really do all that outspacing and stuff like that. Spawn wants the opponent to want to come to him and, you know, play the neutral with his great buttons and whatever, but he can't do that in most matchups. And his third variation, maybe his best one, I think his second one is because his damage is ridiculous. But his third one, you know, he has like, you know, not 50-50s, you have like a 25% chance of guessing right, honestly. But, you know, technically you can fuzzy all of it or whatever, but he has a command grab on that one. So that one maybe is underexplored, that one's better. But he's kind of underwhelming in my opinion, but he's, you know, he's still solid. You can still win with him. He just has his issues. Alright, next character, I have my man Sub-Zero. Now, for a while people were saying Sub-Zero offline is off down here, and online he's up here. I'm like, this tier list, I'd say it's more offline and online. What can I say? It's like a combination of two. I'm not really factoring in online at all. I'm just factoring in how good I think the characters are. And I think Sub-Zero is a very viable character. He's very good. The only issue with him really is that his down one is a high attack instead of a mid like it should be. That's his only thing with it, because he has good 50-50s. I mean, yeah, you can react to the overhead, but I don't see many people reacting to the overhead 100% of the time. They still get clipped if they use it sparingly. He has great spacing, he has great neutral, great abari situations. He can just catch you. So he can play footsies with you. He doesn't have to 50-50 you. He can play footsies and still get the job done. I forgot his name. I think it was Conquer or whatever. MK11 show off. This really showed how good Sub-Zero could really be. He's not up there with the top tiers for sure, but he's still a very strong character, very viable. You know, I don't think he's trash by any means, so definitely in the A- tier. Alright, the next character I got next to him is Scorpion. Scorpion is really good. If you ever watch Averk play or AJU play, amazing play. I can't even touch that guy Averk. He's so freaking good. And shout outs to Nick Ops. He won that tournament like really well, freaking beating Wise Gemini, a legitimate pro player. This guy is really good, and he should go to more freaking tournaments. But anyway, Scorpion has a lot of potential. The best variation is Reborn. I think Burning Spectre is also pretty good. I had a couple friends, like my buddy Elijah and whatnot, use Burning Spectre. Showed how good it can really be. It's not as good as Reborn though, because the mix-ups it has in the third variation just don't really it's not really worth it. It's too much risk and not that much reward. But Reborn is definitely the best one. He can teleport behind you. You try to poke him, it's a frame too late, and he can whip punish you with back one, full combo. You have to play his game, always be worried about the teleport. He's a very strong character. Maybe can use a little bit of help, but he's a strong character. He's very good. He's not bad by any means. Alright, the next character we have our friend Aaron Black. Now they nerfed this man, a long time ago. He used to be, up here and whatnot because he was kind of stupid. He's still freaking good. His back 2-2-2 string is still redonkulous 50-50s. Good luck fuzzing that unless you're offline and you're a god. He still has good damage, good neutral control, takes care of your projectiles, has the freaking full screen 50-50s with the boot and the slide. He's not as good as he once was. They did mess up his fatal blow, which messed up some of his conversions. They did some other things that messed up some of his combos and whatnot. But he's still a good character, still deserving of A-, not trash at all. Alright, and the last character at A-, I have Devora. Now, some people say with the blue fox cap that, she's an S tier. I disagree, because she's a setup character. He's a setup character. I think he's better. No, but really, she's good if you're godlike in the right hands. But you have to work so hard with this character. She doesn't get all that much damage. I mean, her mix-ups are kind of crazy, to be honest with you. But she just doesn't seem that strong. She has a lot of little ways you could exploit her and whatnot. She's viable for sure in the right hand, and in some matchups you can definitely conquer really well. But I can't put her any higher than A- tier. Only like 1 or 2 people actually use her well. So I don't think she's that good. But as most of the characters in this game, I think she's viable. And that's what you notice. All these characters up here, that's most of the cast. I think they're all viable. This game is pretty freaking balanced, and except for a couple characters, it's pretty balanced. Alright, so now we get to the bad characters. Now B tier, I mean, they're technically viable, but they're still not that good. Alright, the first one here, I have Jade. Shoutouts to KHD, buddy, I feel your pain. Jade, she needs some help. I think her best variation is Jaded, but I've done 2 videos showing a lot of issues with this variation. You can jump out of the pole vault in some situations, and now with the new block buffer, patch that they did, even if she's +3, her fastest mid is 11 frames, after the Nitro Kick EX with a Jaded variation. If you do a 7-frame poke, you would beat out her mid. So she's forced to poke you after she's +3, you can block the poke and take back your turn. It's not a free strike throw mix-up for her. She has to actually still be guessing what you're gonna do. So that's kind of messed up. Her first variation is just zoning extraordinaire. It's all she has, but her strings are bad. She can't out-zone you too good, or if your character gets in, it's over, because zoning is not going to win you MK11. It can get you some good damage and a good head start, so once they get in, you have an advantage. But Jade's really bad up close, especially in his first variation, so that variation is no good. And her third variation, yeah, has some good mix-ups in the corner, has some little shenanigans, but it's just that, shenanigans. A lot of her extra strings are just have full gaps that you can just totally interrupt and punish. So she needs some kind of help. She's fun to play, Casey tells me anyway. And you see you can do work with this character, but she just needs some slight adjustments. She needs something that just don't work right for her that they gotta fix. Alright, next character, we have our favorite Shaolin Monk. Even though we keep seeing this man in top 8s, that's just because Splash is a godlike character. Kung Lao is not a good character. All he's good at doing is jumping, down 3, and grabbing. That's his entire game plan. Every other character can do the same freaking thing too. Now, maybe they can't jump as good as he does because he has an excellent dodge kick, which is a great tool. But everyone can just do down 3 or down poke into grab. That's all Kung Lao has. Why? There's no reason to be scared of any of his normals. His stand 1-2, granted, on hit he can do stand 1-2-3. Just buffer into that because the 1-2-3, there's not 1-2-3. I'm sorry, the 1-2-1 string, the one for Kung Lao. It doesn't go the full string if they block it. So okay, you blocked 2-1, he's -5. Okay, it's your turn, but I see Kung Lao's get away with it. Even if he's in Lotus Fist, does the hat toss, he's -4. The only way to mix you up off that if he spends all his bars. Because in order for him to do that move, he has to spend a defensive bar and an offensive bar, which is ridiculous. And to do both of them, he has to spend all his meter. So he has to use his defensive meter to attack you. if he tries to like get pressure or whatever, and he messes up and you get him in a combo, well, he don't have breaker no more. You're gonna get him in a full combo. If you look at his frame data, almost all his crap is punishable. All his mids suck. Forward 1 is -5. Forward 1-3 is freaking punishable. Finishes the string, it's a high. He goes in the hat toss, the regular hat toss, that's a high. He goes in the orbiting hat, he's still -4. It shouldn't even hit you anyway. This character is just bad. Now he makes it to top 8. I just think because Splash is really good and he really knows how to get in the head of the opponent. Because Kung Lao is good at grabbing. That's his whole game. That's the only thing he can really do. He just grabs and grabs and grabs and grabs until you get scared of the grab. Then he can open you up with his garbo mids. That's what he does. And his jumping is really oppressive too because of an issue with MK11 in general where characters just have a hard time anti-airing to begin with. So that gives Kung Lao an advantage in that sense. But yeah, he's in B tier, just barely viable because, you know, the pros could win with him as we could see, but he's not a good character. Alright, so enough about Mr. Lau himself. So let's get over to Scarlet. So Scarlet, she has some serious problems. Scarlet, yeah, she's a zoner. Her zoning's okay, but like I mentioned before, zoning's not everything in MK11. The pro players can very easily get in on zoning because of the wave dashing mechanics and all that kind of stuff. So zoning is not a big deal. She has a teleport, which is kind of stupid. She shouldn't have that, but whatever, fine. She has a teleport. Thing is, when she gets close to you, all her strings, except her stand 4-4 and her 2-1-2, which the 2-1-2 is punishable, has a flawless block gap in it. And this 4-4 is a high. Every single one has a flawless block gap, no matter what she does. So she can't really pressure you at all. The only thing she can try to do is parry between her strings and try to get you trying to flawless block her and just doing a lot of staggers, which, you know, once you establish that she has to do staggers, you can very easily take back your turn because you know she's going to stagger because once you establish that you're able to flawless block her. So she has a lot of problems. You need to fix some of her gaps. She doesn't need that many gaps. At least make her, I think it's either forward 4 or forward 3, whatever her mid-low or low-mid, whatever the string is that she uses for pressure and whatnot. That shouldn't have a gap in it. That would be a big help, but they got to take a look at this character. See, her mid-string game is really bad. Now, it shouldn't be as good as Cetrion. I'm not saying that. Don't make it as good as Cetrion, but it needs to be a little bit better than it is. Okay, next character. You know, I'm going to put this guy a little higher. Capo Kano here. Well, you know what? Yeah, I'll do that. Okay, because Kano, he's okay. This buffs made him better because his forward 1's now a mid. But the thing is, his forward 1, I forgot this whole thing. His forward 1 string that has a spit in it. If he's able to land it on certain male hitboxes, he's +2. But against female hitboxes, which I can't stand why that's a thing, his spit whiffs and that string doesn't really work. It can only be do the forward 1, which is still +1. So he loses a lot of pressure against certain characters. If he had that against the entire cast, it would be A-, maybe A tier. So he loses that. I think Dirtbag is really good. And that's probably one of his, I think that might be his best variation. Maybe the third one with the mid projectile. It's pretty decent. I mean, if he gets you in the corner, he'll just like totally melt your health. But overall, he doesn't have too much really to get in with. He just has the one good mid. Overall combos are not that damaging except in his third variation. So I just don't think he's that strong of a character, but you know, he's still viable. He can still make stuff happen, but you know, he's just not that good. Alright, so we know who these last two are. These are the complete garbage characters. Trash, useless, serious need of buffs, have been garbage for over a year. Now, poor Raiden. Poor Raiden. So his first variation is just bad. I've made like 3 videos on this freaking character. He's just a really bad character. I made a post on Twitter just showing like, you know, not everything, but a lot of the stuff wrong with him. His Storm Cell can be punished in some strings if you break out of it. You can always punish the Storm Cell anyway, you can just duck it. You can flawless block all his good strings. His overhead and low are just all going to be punished every single time. His Raijin variation's not even all that good, even though certain individual tried to say propaganda and say that it was good. But it's not. It's better than his other ones. It's viable, barely viable. But point is, Raiden needs help. His third variation is a joke. What is Joe Push? What is it? Garbage. His character is so bad. But there's only one character that overshadows him and how bad he is. And that is our worst character in MK11. That is Shao freaking Kahn. Shao Kahn, this character is the worst character in MK11. Probably has always been the worst character in MK11, or at least always been bottom 5 consistently, and he's never been buffed, from far as what I can tell, or any reasonable buff at all. So what are his positives? His stand 1 is +4, he gets good damage, and he has a 10 frame mid. Okay, cool. What's the issue? His 10 frame mid has a flawless block gap. His plus frames 4/4 has a flawless block gap. He has a restand in his first variation that's -8, so he has a punishable restand. All his other attacks are highs. His only good move is his sweep. He really can't threaten you in any way. He's forced to do random freaking tackles to hope to God to open you up. This character is bad, and NetherRealm is freaking retarded for not buffing him at all. Honestly, how could he not buff this character? At the very least, his -8 restand in the corner should not be -8. Why is it -8? You have to restand, it should be plus at least. I mean, I got it. At least make it even. I mean, come on, is that too much to ask? I want a restand to be even? I don't want to be punished for hitting the opponent. You should never be punished for hitting the opponent except in very specific type of moves due to how they are, but no, you should not get punished for hitting the opponent, especially with a restand. So yeah guys, that's pretty much my tier list. I'm pretty 100% sure about these. These definitely in the A tier, you know, maybe he can go here, whatever, you can switch him with Nightwolf. These, you can interchange them within this tier, but I think they're all in this area. These characters need help. These need serious help. In terms of balance, the S tiers, they need like some slight nerfs, you know, just to tone them down a bit. These characters, maybe they need some nerfs, a couple of them do, but for the most part, they can just stay where they're at. These can also stay where they're at, maybe like some slight buff to like, you know, a few of these characters. And these, you know, like I said, these need help, you know what I mean? So yeah guys, that's about it for the video today. If you guys enjoyed, just make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter. Follow me on Twitch, and I'll see you guys next time.